Hey guys, we're here today to talk about measurement. I'm going to give you guys a lesson on what measurement is and why we do it. And it's an important thing to have because most people, when they start to draw or paint, drawing with a pencil or with a paintbrush, they just make a mark here where they think this is, where this is, and this is, and they don't actually know where things are. And even if you're a really good artist, you still want to include some measurement in what you're doing if you want it to be perfectly accurate. You can just draw things and correct as you go, but measurement is just an easier way to verify if what you're doing is right or wrong. And especially as a beginning artist, it's extremely important. Not only will it show you if the marks you're making on the canvas are right or wrong, but it'll also help train your eye to see better, to see if things are right or wrong without even having to measure eventually in time. You get better and better at it. Even me, I still use measurement at different points at times during a painting just to make sure. So let's get into it and look and see. So we're going to do our first measurement. And one thing to consider too, this picture I'm using, it's the exact same ratio of height to width as the canvas I have. I set that up on purpose. If you're doing a painting, you're going to probably want to set that up on purpose. Otherwise, you're either going to just be imagining things that aren't in the image, or you're just taking away from the image you have in front of you to make it fit that. So we have our image. It's the same ratio size. It's smaller, obviously, on the computer than in here. We're going to do our first measurement. So this first measurement is extremely important, and you want to use a measurement that is very reliable. So what's a reliable measurement? It's one that fits perfectly even. So in this case, I found this side of this tree, and the side of this tree fits exactly halfway into the canvas. So let's do that again. See? Perfectly halfway. We call this our God measurement because it's what we're going to keep coming back to. Now let's put that on the canvas. So in the picture, we measured halfway. So on the canvas, we're going to do the same thing. You can see I've already made a mark here where it is, but let's just go through what you would do. So let's take your knitting needle and you'd make a measurement. Now your first measurement you're going to make is probably not going to end up being exactly halfway. So if it's a little bit off, what you're going to do is move your finger either up or down and make it bigger or shorter depending on what your mistake was. So say you go like that and you made it a little too big, you can move your finger up a little bit and then try again. And you'll keep trying until you get exactly halfway. Once you get halfway, this is your God measurement. We'll call it the God measurement. And from now on, if you're unsure of any mark you've made for a drawing or the placement of something in your painting, you're going to use comparative measurement and compare it to this first God measurement you made. And if it fits within this God measurement and it's right, then you know it's right. The reason we chose this for a God measurement, like I said, it fits perfectly halfway into your canvas, making it very reliable. So let's look at another measurement we might want to make. Let's see, I want to know how far away this tree is from this end of the canvas. I want to make that measurement so I can know for sure. I can find that distance of how far away this is to know for sure. So why don't I just take this here on this image I have. So I have this side to the end of the canvas, my finger's on the edge of where I want it to the measurement to go, edge of the tree in this case. Okay, that'll be better for you to see. Now I'm going to see how many times it goes into the first measurement that I just made, that magic halfway mark that I rely on so much. Let's see how many times it goes in. It goes 1 and a little more than past. So 2 full measurements of that, of what I just did. More than 2 of them can fit into the first one I did, that halfway point. And you just keep in mind how far away this is from here. So let me show you again, just to make it a little more clear. I want to know how far away this is from this edge of the canvas. So I'm gonna do the measurement on the image I have. So we see we have exactly that. Bring it over and put it into that first measurement we made. And see how many times it goes in. It goes 1 and more than 2. You can see how right here is where the initial measurement you made is, and my needle's going a little past it. So that means on my canvas here, even though my canvas is a different size from that image, I can use that exact same logic to find out how far away where this tree is. It's somewhere here. Let's find exactly where it is. So we'll go 1, that's pretty close. 1, 2, move a little more. 1, 2, that's okay. So you see how I'm just recreating what I did on the image over there. I'm just recreating it on this bigger canvas. And now that's it. That's how far away that tree should be. So you can see here we were looking for the edge of the tree to the edge of the canvas. We plugged it into our God measurement, a little more than 2 times. Over here we plugged it in a little more than 2 times, and that was the exact side of the tree. So what you might want to do is when you're use comparative measurement at different points in your painting or drawing. So why don't you can start just drawing, but then if you're unsure of where something is, you can always come back to your God measurement, plug it into here, and you can find it exactly where you need to go. That's the biggest use to the comparative measurement. So you can see I've done some marks now freehand. I didn't do any measuring, I just started drawing freehand. And so what we can do now is use measurement to see if the marks I made here are right or wrong. So let's go to our image right here. So let's see, I made a mark for where this is, this horizon line up here. I want to see if that's right or wrong. So what I'll do is I'll just make a measurement from the bottom of the canvas to the horizon line. And let's see how it goes into our measurement. It goes once and about a third. A little more than a third. A little more than a third. So what you're going to do is you go here and you're going to find a measurement that goes once and you have a little more than a third on the inside. 1, that's too much on the inside. That's too small on the inside. So I'm just changing my finger each time a little bit. Once. Just a tiny bit more. That's pretty good. So I should look at that now and see. Ooh, I did that with my eye. I didn't actually measure it, but that's looking pretty good actually. But you can see it's just a really good way to make sure what you did was right. So since that one worked out so well for me, let's just do another one. Let's find out, say, this tree branch. Let's find out where that is. So let's just go from, say, the bottom of the canvas to where the tree branch comes out of the tree. We can plug that into our unit and it goes past the unit, a little bit past it. So then you go to our canvas here, take a measurement, put it a little bit past it, kind of like that did. It's about that. It should be higher. It should be like this second one I made here. I actually wasn't sure if it was this one or this one. I thought this needs to come lower, but it's this second one up here is more accurate. That's the right one. So you can use that to find out and see.